Diaries of a Madman. Chapter 188. Part 5 of 5. Sure enough, there was the tree. It was looking a little run down, though. The poor thing was definitely starting to wither. I only assume they're here, I said. I also only assume they're friendly. Any assumption of yours is a safe bet, Kot said. We started angling down, through the branches of the other trees. When we finally got down, all I could say was, "Hey. Hello again, dearest tree sister," the creepy mushroom lady from the changeling hives said. "And you brought another this time." "Hello to you, dearest mushroom sister," I said. "So I think there might have been a miscommunication. I thought we were looking for a tree sister." "You are," the tree said. "Holy shit, the tree just spoke," I said. "It did?" Kot asked. "Of course it spoke, silly," the mushroom said. "And she has no idea what's going on," the tree said. "I assume she has no idea what a tree sister even is." "You're right, I don't know what's going on. I barely know what a tree sister is," I said. "And I would really appreciate some answers." "I'm not going anywhere," the tree said with what honestly sounded like a giggle. "So let's start with this one," I said. "Why is a tree talking to me?" "Because you can hear me," it said. "And because you can help me." "Okay, let's move to this one. How is a tree talking to me? Is that really the question you want to ask?" Yeah. That's why I ask it." It sighed. "I'm not really sure. I had a feeling asking for your help would be difficult. So, you gonna answer? Would you believe me if I told you magic?" "Fuck it, why not?" I said. "It honestly wouldn't be the weirdest thing I've heard today." "So you obviously had a different thing in mind for this conversation. Where did you see this going? I would like to know what is happening outside of my domain. It's a big world. Be more specific. Is Celestia still alive?" "Depends on what you mean by alive," I said. "And it also depends on what you mean by Celestia. If by alive you mean had her personality utterly wiped and replaced with something that I control, then yes. And if by Celestia you mean mind-wiped puppet, then also yes. Then she's dead." I literally just answered that, tree. "It depends. Can you stop being obtuse for 5 minutes, it asked. "You called me here for answers. I'm giving you answers. You said you need my help. What about Reginald? Is that name at all familiar to you?" "Last I heard, he was heading back to Iceland," I said. "After I cured Pyrite's insanity, Reggie wanted to go back to help him recover. I hope he chokes on his fucking freedom, after the bastard stabbed me in the back." "And Nightmare Moon?" she softly asked. "I think Twilight and the other elements of harmony utterly destroyed Nightmare Moon after kicking her out of Luna's body, but I'm not really sure how it all worked. I know she's basically been neutralized." "Luna's alive?" "Yeah. Bring her to me." I crossed my arms and lifted an eyebrow. "Excuse me." Several vines shot out of the soil and dragged Kot straight to the ground. "You will bring her to me immediately." "Taya." Kot immediately teleported out of the vines. "So why am I bringing you my favorite vassal?" I asked. "Your vassal?" the tree slowly asked. "Luna swore an oath to obey me as my vassal." "I suppose time changes us all," it said. "So, do you want to tell me why I'm bringing Luna here?" I asked. "Or should I just start burning you down now and asking questions never?" "A very long time ago, Luna and I were friends," it said. "Luna had a lot of strange friends, it seems," I said. "So what's your story?" "As a tree sister, I was not able to fight in Luna's final war against her sister. It goes against every code we stand for. But after Celestia utterly betrayed her, I knew I could not let that wretch go unpunished. So I did something forbidden." "You and Luna both, hey?" So what forbidden, super fucked up thing did you do? I used dark magic to curse one of my seeds, then planted it in the heart of Celestia's power, the capital of the world. Then I rotted it out from under her. Okay, this time, can you try being a little more specific? If trees could roll their eyes, this one probably would have skipped that step and started at trying to strangle me. I used magic to curse my seed, planted the seed so it would sprout, and then killed myself so I would grow into the cursed sapling. Over time, I was able to seep into the other trees and spread the corruption. Within a year, I brought her empire to its knees, flooding her capital with monsters the ponies thought all but eradicated. I awoke the Fae of old to begin nurturing the land, slowly returning its magic over time. Thank you for being a little more specific, I said. Mommy's really hard for us all to deal with, Taya said. Don't take it personally. So everything you said when you met me was a sham, the mushroom said. What about the creatures who were with you when you found me? Those are called changelings, I said. Discord created them by morphing the alicorns of old into hunger fae. You know Discord, the tree demanded. Unfortunately. Wait, you know Discord? How? He was still locked up when you were walking around. I happened to be around while he was making the first changelings, she said. I'm older than Celestia and Luna. Ah. Sorry, you look really nice for your age. I wouldn't say you had any more than 20 rings, tops. If trees could blush, she would still probably be trying to strangle me. I wish I could hate you to death, the tree said. So much for trying to compliment her. You're making me want to help you less and less, I said. So who is Discord? The mushroom asked. More like what is Discord, I said. It's the physical manifestation of the idea of chaos brought on after one super ancient human murdered another super ancient human way back when. What's a human? The tree asked. I thought you said I would be the one getting answers, I said. You seem to have a lot more of those than I do, it said. You said you needed help. What did you need? 2 things, the tree said. First, I want you to bring me Luna. And then? That will depend on her, it said. After that, I will either need you to burn this forest to the ground or give me one of your seeds. Alright, give me the rundown of why I would be doing either of those. In case you weren't listening, this forest is cursed, it said. There are 2 ways to get rid of a corruption like this. The first is with flames. The second is with new life. Right, I kind of figured. So how about this time, you make with the specifics. And please don't make me ask for specifics in the future. I hate having to ask for those. You know what, forget it, the tree said. I knew having to deal with you would make this unbearable. Oh please, as if you know how bad I really am. I can smell the sickly sweet scent of corruption all over you, my lovely little cherry blossom, the tree said. There's something rotten in your core. Yeah, no shit. Discord created me. Oh. Yeah, oh. So what does that mean? The mushroom asked. Well, practical jokes were Discord's sort of thing, the tree said. Now that we've had plenty of time to suffer from its antics, I imagine we'll probably both cease to exist in the short amount of time it'll take for that thing to snap its fingers. I, of course, made no effort to snap said fingers. Sorry, I didn't finish, I said. Discord created me, and I'm doing my best to kill him before he finishes transforming me into a monster and forcibly marries me for eternity. That dude is mad Spooksville, and the less I have to do with him, the better. Oh, you're the new heiress, the tree said. That makes you much more interesting. And it also explains why you're so annoying. Yeah, sorry, I'm legit crazy at this point, I said. You must be really old if you know there were other heiresses. Legends travel long and far among the half-fae, she said. We remember things that most could never even imagine. Discord creates many pawns, but you are always his favorite. Your likely fate is not a pretty one, Eris. Well, according to Discord, I'm the last one. If I fail to get a soul, he'll marry me. So if any of your Fey legends pertain to giving me one, I'm all ears. Bring me Luna and we'll talk, the tree said. That's fair. So, what, should I just tell her that a tree in the middle of the woods asked to speak to her? Tell her that Poira requests an audience with the Herald of Darkness, she said. K. So what's your name, Mushroom? Oh, I forgot so long ago, she said. Call me Morel, if you must call me anything. And you are Eris, then? Navarone, actually, I said. Eris is what Discord wants to turn me into, but I'm not there yet. And this is Taya. Sup, my filly said. I'm surprised you brought a mortal with you, Morel said, looking caught up and down. Does she tend to your grove? She's a guard, so I guess technically. If we cleanse the curse from the forest, will all the monsters leave? Not immediately, Poira said. It will take time for the dark magics to seep out and for the good magics to start resurging. Would it bother you if the monsters were killed? I ask. With Celestia defeated and Luna free, there is no more reason for me to keep up this dark act, she said. I would be happy to release the enchantments on the monsters and allow them to be killed. That will speed up the cleansing of the forest. What if Taya and I planted some of our own seeds here? I ask. Then instead of an evil-aligned magical forest, it would be a good-aligned magical forest, she said. The monsters that appeared would be docile and mostly harmless. Well, new side quest activated, I said. Gotta clear out sectors of the forest and plant magical seeds. This'll be fun. Depending, of course, on what Luna has to say, Poira said. I might just ask you to burn it all instead. Yeah, we're not doing that. Of course, she didn't need to know that. If that's what she asked for, we'd just burn her tree down and keep the rest intact. I'm not sure how long it'll take Luna to get out here, I said. And I'm not sure I'll be with her. Taya can get you a seed pretty soon, but I'm going to be unavailable for a while. Again, I am going nowhere, Poira replied. I still have quite some time before I completely wither away. And I believe I'll be staying here for some time, too, Morel said. This grove is so fascinating. I haven't seen one this powerful in so long. I wouldn't mind talking more about being a tree sister, either, I said. As you guessed, I don't know much about it at all. Celestia did it to me without permission, so I had no clue what to expect. That utter monster, Poira said. This is no fate that should be forced on any. It is something that should only ever be chosen. Yet, she was a bitch canoe. Anyway, I'll go see what I can do to find Luna. With luck, it shouldn't be long. Will she be able to hear you? With magic, yes, Poira said. Or failing that, Morel can translate if you are unavailable. Cool beans. Taya, would you mind taking us home? Her horn lit up and we teleport back into my room. My filly groaned and lifted a hoof to her head. I think I'm gonna need a short break, Mommy. Feel free, I said. I have no intention of leaving the house again. She limped off back to her room, trying to seem more miserable than she really was. The book had moved from the bed to the desk, so I assumed Luna was out of it. So now what? Cod asked. Would you like me to service you, my lady? Nah. I'm gonna head downstairs and see if Luna is here. If she is, I'd like to get her sent out to the forest. Wouldn't you rather let me go check to see if she's here, then tell her to meet you if so? Yes, actually. I'll be here. It'll certainly mean fewer people will want to bother me, at least. As you command, she replied, placing a paw against her chest. With that, she wandered off. I walked over to my desk and opened up the laptop. Its battery was low, so I pulled out the solar charger and let it start soaking up some rays. Luna didn't waste much time teleporting back up and immediately falling into a bow. My lady. So did you have a chance to speak to Athena and Hera? No. They removed me as soon as I finished their small dungeon and advised me to return after your coma had begun, as they had preparations to make. I tried to go in 2 more times after that, but it was made clear to me that trying a 3rd time would be unwise. Could have seen that one coming. Does the name Poira mean anything to you? Yes. Tell me about her. I had few friends of old, fewer still that lasted through the ages. Poira was the tree sister I mentioned before, a very old friend of mine that I have not seen since, before I fell. Why do you ask of her? Because I was speaking to her 5 minutes ago and she asked to talk to you. I see. Where may I find her? The Everfree. She's no longer a tree sister and is instead just a tree. She also has a visiting mushroom sister named Morel. I am thankful you relayed this message, my lady, she said with a grin. I have found myself missing Poira. It is a shame she is rooted to one place, but being able to visit will be nice. Where in the Everfree is she? She's the biggest tree out there, the one that rises above all the others. If you'd like, Kot would probably be able to help you find it. Taya's feeling some magical burnout, so she wouldn't be up to it. It should not be difficult to find. I also know a spell that helps with detecting magic, so I have alternate means of finding her. I have quite a few questions for her. So did I. Apparently the reason the Everfree is so fucked up is because she used dark magic to curse one of her magical seeds, then grew into it and corrupted Celestia's capital out from under her. That's an interesting tactic. Did she say why? Revenge for what Celestia did to you. I see. I never expected her to do such a thing for me. I will be sure to thank her. Do you need anything else from me, my lady? Poira asked 2 things of me. The first was to deliver that message. She told me the second thing would be dependent on what you told her, but that the 2 options were to burn her grove down or to give her a magical seed to help cure the corruption. I'd like you to try to convince her to take a magical seed. I will, she replied with a nod. I would not want to lose my friend after just finding her. Good. Go see her. If she asks you to do anything for her, you're free to take as much time as you need to help her. I doubt you'll be needed too much at the bunker unless they run into something horrific. Thank you, my lady. When exactly do you plan to enter this coma? Shortly after that die glass empties, I said, pointing at it. The sand was about 3/4 of the way down. That'll be when my magical seed matures. Would you like your favorite vassal to plant it somewhere secure? She asked. Not this one. I'm going to plant it myself. Ah. Farewell for now, my lady. See you when I see you, I said with a nod. She blinked right outside the glass doors, then took off flying toward Ponyville. As tempting as it was to just dick around on the laptop for a few hours, I knew reading the Tree Sister book would be more useful. Thankfully, Taya had placed it on one of the bookshelves in my room. When I sat back down at the desk to read it, aqua shot out of my nose and down to the book. She sank into the pages before scooting right back inside of me. This might be somewhat confusing for a moment, she said. Will it be faster than reading it myself? I asked. Yes. Go for it. She closed my eyes and showed me the entire book, one word at a time, so quickly that I could barely keep up. As the words progressed, I realized that they were being burned into my memory. At that rate, I finished the book in about 2 minutes and it felt like I could recite the entire thing word for word. Wow! After about an hour or 2, you'll begin forgetting the exact wording. You'll still remember all the events, though. I'm still trying to process it now, I said. Even though it's all in my head, so far I only really understand the first half. Close your eyes and relax, she said. The rest will come soon. I did just that. Sure enough, the rest came quickly enough. Well. I guess Taya didn't technically lie to me. That's still a very huge omission, though, Aqua said. How's it feel to know that your final fate might be to live forever as a tree? Honestly? Not that fucking great. That said, I'll have a very long time to decide what I want to do. I'm sure once I get a soul, I can find some way to commit suicide in such a way that I don't end up in a tree forever. That said, Poira is still able to talk to those around her, so it might not be too terrible. I'm more curious about why Taya didn't think this was worth mentioning. Because she knew you'd tell her no, obviously. I would have told her no anyway. You were the one who told her yes. Technically. You're gonna wanna stop talking now. She stopped talking then. Some of what was in the book confirmed what I already knew. Basically, any limbs that got chopped off would grow back tree-like. It was still possible to get pregnant, but only by a tree brother. Once your evolution into a tree being got far enough that your eyes turned bright green, you could begin hearing trees singing and start seeing more powerful fae. Some of the information was new. When you got old enough, which seemed to depend on which tree you were combined with, leaving your grove got harder. At some point, you would become unable to leave your grove for an extended period of time. After a few more deaths, you couldn't leave the grove at all. Finally, you would be unable to leave your tree. Your grove would grow around you and you'd be able to magically influence it. At that point, I understood more about what Poira did. I also finally realized why the monsters usually only reacted to those who went into the forest with violence in their mind. She couldn't completely control them, but she could influence them. She also had eyes all over the forest and could easily send creatures of all types wherever she wanted. Which meant that eventually, I could probably do the same. Thankfully, knowing my eventual fate allowed me to start planning for it in advance. If there was eventually a time where I got stuck in a tree, I'd want to make sure it was in a huge forest of some kind so I'd have as much influence as possible. At least that way, I'd be able to have some fun in the pseudo-afterlife. It still sounded kinda shitty, but it was better than going to hell or being married to Discord. End Diaries of a Madman. Chapter 188.